But anyways, guys, yeah, things are just moving around. It's Sunday, wrapping up the week, getting ready for next week. And I got to say, man, and I try to do my best not to get political. This is very hard for me not to. But in order for us to win this battle that we're in, this dare I say, what do we want to call it, fellas? Let's call it a narrative battle. Because what do we want? We want adoption, right? And there's only one way we can get adoption. That's through price going up. Because for some reason, Trent, people like to buy when the price goes up. For some reason,
I buy all the time.
I know you do, but we buy more when it goes down. But everybody else buys more when it goes up.
People like the wine when it goes down.
Yes, I don't though. I'm very happy about that.
The FOMO is real.
Yeah. So the only way we have to do this, guys, is because we don't have a marketing team. I wear shirts like this. We go out there and talk to people and stuff like that. Guys, let me ask you guys a question. And I want an honest answer, a heartfelt answer. What is the best way you think we're going to get adoption? Is it just naturally just say, you know what, just let it go and it's going to do it on its own? Is there going to be some kind of, the Bitcoin strategic reserve starts getting filled up and the Bitcoin Act gets passed? Once the Bitcoin Act gets passed through Congress, is it some IBM or Apple or Berkshire Hathaway? Is it some Elon Musk coming out and saying, oh, Joe Rogan coming out? What do you guys think is going to be the catalyst to get us to global adoption, Trent?
Global adoption. So I'm going to split it into two. There's going to be mainstream commercial adoption. That's going to be streamlined by your strikes, not your strikes, your Stripe, right? That's the credit card point of sales. That you're going to need lots of companies accepting Bitcoin for it to be used. And then you're going to need a little bit of help on the tax side. So, because, you need some kind of exemption under like $500, because otherwise you're just going to have a tax nightmare. And that's really, that's a real big deal. Like, I don't want to use it because it's a pain. I've done this for 6 years now. Crypto taxes are terrible. And then worldwide adoption, that's gonna be on the country level. That's my guess. Reserve, China's already doing it. We got some, but we really need that. Sorry, I always forget her name. The Wyoming senator bill to go through.
Lummis.
Yeah.
Hold up. Phone just dropped.
Wow. I got intercepted, guys.
Phone just
Danny
dropped.
was locked in. We got 7,777 sats. That's 7777. Fat Zap, ladies and gentlemen. Fat Zap.
Now, is that Jenny 2026 or Jenny 2036? Because if that's Jenny 2036, you know how much money that is in the future? That's a lot.
That's a holy zap.
Can anybody, Trent, you're smart. If 7.5 cents or 7.5 sats are $1, Trent, here he goes. Look at Trent. I didn't even ask the question. He's already typing.
7 sats per dollar?
7.5 cents per dollar, 7.5 sats per dollar in 2036, with the same purchasing power today, the dollar is today. What would be 7,777 sats? I guess that's pretty easy math. Let's call it 7.
If you say so. I'm going to get it wrong. You're making me do math on stream.
Right? Isn't it 7? What would that be?
It's $1 divided by 7.5 sats, right?
Yeah, well, let's go 7 because let's make it even.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's make it even. It's a lot of sats. Thank you so much, future Jenny or present Jenny. I don't know. We're going to find out in a second. As we talk about adoption, Jen asked Backpacker to adopt her today in the comments of his video today. A video who you should watch. There, Backpacker, I mentioned your video. Do I get paid my 3 sats? LOL.
Yeah, I did it wrong.
We appreciate that.
I have it at $1,111.
That might be right. I think that's right.
Right.
1,111 times 7. I think that's what it is.
So,
oh crap! Don't remind me. I'm sorry, Jenny.
8,840 fat. Oh my gosh. 8,840 sats, guys, coming in from Praetorian. Thanks, gents. Kind regards.
Wow,
Dropping the
Praetorian.
sauce.
Thank you.
Dropping
Thank
the
you,
sauce. All
Praetorian.
you
So
guys.
that means I can keep the 5,000 and put it in my wallet and just don't tell them about it, right? We'll just keep that one and act like you gave that to me, right? No, thank you, Praetorian. I appreciate that, bro. And thank you so much, Jenny. We really, really appreciate that. Seriously, we really appreciate that. And she said, "Oh crap, don't remind me." But I need to know that had to be today's Jenny, because I mean, you are rich though, Jenny, in the future, 2036, but that much, I don't know. Nice zap either way. Yes, very nice. Thank you, Jenny. Jerry says that's pretty easy math. Trent, figure it out.
I'm going to ask Gemini.
$1,111. Jenny says, "Oh, that's future Jenny then. She knows already. She's the one that's paid it." Wow, Jenny. You just
Wait,
brought it.
that's what I got.
Yeah. You were right. That's what I said.
Thanks, Jen.
1 times 7 is 777.
You bailed me
That is
out.
a heavenly zap times 4. Thank you. Wow, she just sent us our mortgage payment for the future. Thank you. Holler is helping notifying the zaps. Thank you. Yeah, because Daddy's just not on it right now.
What mortgage are you getting for $1,111 in 2037?
Probably nothing. 36, sir. Don't give her.
Sorry,
don't make her
36. 36.
Wow, Praetorian. It's all secular for us. LOL. You just divided by 7 because you get 7 for yeah.
Thank you. I did that, but I was questioning myself.
We do that. When it comes to math, MAFF, I definitely question.
Thank you for taking the half cent off.
Yes, that made it much easier. But yeah, like we talked about that in the future. Backpacker. Oh, you didn't answer the question. So, what do you think about the adoption? What do you think will cause nationwide adoption and then fully global adoption? Because I think we need to come through America. Me personally.
Yeah, we need to be the first, just by default, because we're Americans and that's just the way it is. And with that being said, we need the Clarity Act because we need the framework. The framework is going to allow scale because it's going to allow the institutions and everybody within the space to be able to be like, okay, we can now navigate within the space without getting screwed over by the government or getting sued. So that's number one. So that's why the framework is super important. I take more of an approach of, I think not only allowing the box stores, because we're consumers in America, and that's never going to change. Now, we may not be consumers, but majority of Americans are. So when you have the option to have these big box companies be able to accept Bitcoin as a payment, at least as an option, even as an option there, even though nobody may do it, the fact that that's an option is huge. That's number one. Number two is, I mean, what are we holding every day? If we start incorporating Bitcoin payments seamlessly, like really, really well done within Apple and Google, I think Apple and Google getting in the game would be huge, huge. And not that we don't have the framework ourselves of sending zaps back and forth to each other, but here's the thing. When you have an 80-year-old grandma, a 65-year-old grandma, or an older person who knows nothing about technology, they don't have the time to sit here and want to be like, okay, I got to do this. I got to verify this address. They're going to find a way to incorporate it in a way that it's seamless. You upload your funds or you connect your bank accounts and then you click send and that's it. So kind of like the Steve Jobs ideology of simplify, it works, seamless. And I think with allowing mobile phones to do this, I think that will be massive. Now, I do know that if that happens, they're going to be doing cryptos too. So
I was going to interrupt you, but I knew you were going to get there.
Yeah, that's kind of where I think there's going to be a big, we're going to see who's pushing what, we don't know what's going to happen there. But I think that's what needs to happen. Mobile phone carriers, cell phone companies adopting that, and big box stores. And the framework, obviously.
So I want to jump off even for a little further on that commerce side, because they already in Asia right now, and Stacking Richie can back me up there, they already do QR code purchases, like little shacks on the side of the road. Scan your bank app QR code. There's no difference if you just scan on your Strike app, or even if I'm gonna say some 4-letter words you guys aren't gonna like. your Cash App or your WhatsApp,
Mhm.
and pay in Bitcoin.
Correct. Yeah, it's like we're already doing it within the fiat world, which
Okay.
isn't new. And actually, QR codes in America we're way behind compared to, like
We
you said,
are.
the other countries. Yeah, they live on everything's a QR code.
The little lady with the noodle shop has a QR code on the side.
Yeah,
They all do.
yeah,
And this is what I try to tell my gold bugs. I'm like, do you really think we're going to be, come on,
Let me
third
get
world,
my
second world countries are doing it. But yeah, I agree with everything. This is why I like going last, because I can jump off and stand on the great shoulders of these guys. Everything they said was true. And I think with the layer 3s and 4s that are going to be coming, I don't know what the layer 3s and 4s are going to be, but like Trent said, and like Anthony said, when you get the Apples and the big boys in, and you get the smartest people in the world, like every time now that we're Bitcoiners now that I watch Elon Musk do a presentation about one of his robots or his whatever, then I go back and watch Steve Jobs doing a presentation on when the Apple phone first came out, and the freaking what does Hodler have, the
the iPod.
the iPad pod. Again, that looks old now, but when
It is
somebody
old.
goes, yeah, but it's within the last 20 years, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
like
Not
25.
that
Yeah.
old, but time goes, man. It flies. And 2016 was just like that. So when 2035, when we catch up to Jen in 2036 and everything is happening, I believe, again, with all these layers, I think it's just going to happen like in so many different increments with
Mhm.
the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, not with us, because we're on it all day, with the politicians and what's going on in Congress. Because if you think about it, right, we were there when the internet came out. Do you remember like the watershed moment when internet was like, oh my God, it's here? No, it was just coming in slowly but surely in the background. There were the nerd people all into the internet, but they weren't in on the internet because it wasn't a thing like it is now with Bitcoin. But I think with Bitcoin, because we have the internet and it's a money on the internet and for the internet, I just think, and I'm hoping it'll go a little bit faster because again, like Trent said, with the freaking QR codes and everything else, hopefully that'll
The infrastructure is there. You just have to tie it together.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this subject right here is such a great subject to talk about, because this also helps us as Bitcoiners reflect back to the evolution of everything, from the cell phone to the internet to, I mean, you name it, and the adoption and how it worked. But it also helps us kind of sit back and understand that, as Bitcoiners, sometimes we do get very impatient. Like, we want things now. And I think that it also helps us step back to be like, let's allow this to happen, and just to go through the motions. And it also just, it kind of just gives us a kick in the leg to say, hey, slow your roll. Just chill, just keep on stacking, because that obviously that's the number one thing, is keep on stacking. Technologies. So there's a guy on Noster. He created an Uber app that does like Bitcoin, like Zap transactions, and he's currently using it. And he lives in Las Vegas, Jer. And so he, however it's structured, but he posts updates and pictures on it, and he's currently using it. And I think, yeah, he's a good. I want to start talking with him a little more, but he's definitely a good
yeah, because you have
individual.
a summer home in Vegas, I think. Someone told me that.
That is true. It's very, it's lovely. I love it there.
Yeah.